Welcome to Local Business Spotlight, where we highlight local businesses that are making an impact on our community.
My guest is Greg Miller, Chief Operating Officer for PRIVIT. And Greg, first of all, welcome.
Thank you, Anne.
Tell everybody about PRIVIT.
PRIVIT's a cloud-based technology company headquartered here in Columbus. We help organizations, schools, and companies securely and effectively manage their health-related information. In technology, it's very, very important that, particularly when you're dealing with health-related information, that is secure. And our actual products are built on 5 patents that are either issued or pending that are in the U.S., Canada, and also in Australia. We have multiple products, and we actually have brought all of them to marketplace, and we're out there just continuing to serve various markets with these various applications that are delivering the solutions to these marketplaces. Well,
it's great that you're a Columbus-based company.
Yes.
And how long has there been a PRIVIT?
PRIVIT's actually been around since 2009. They were started in London, Ontario, Canada. And we actually opened up the headquarters down here in Columbus about 2.5 years ago. And it was actually a individual in Canada had met our CEO at a golf outing, of all things. And the CEO had just successfully sold his prior company, and the entire management team was available. And so subsequently, they started talking at the golf course, and he says, I've got this entire management team. He's got this technology that he actually wanted to bring to market. And he wanted to get a proven group to do this, and so subsequently it all worked out. The CEO, his name is Jeff Sopp. He went around and got his band back together, as he likes to say it, and went to all the senior management team, and of which I am definitely one of them. Kristen Fornell, our VP of Marketing, as well. Matt Paul, who's our CFO, and Karen Gellner, and the list goes on and on and on of people that have actually worked with us at a company called Exposite that's now working here at PRIVIT.
Well, and it's amazing how much business takes place on the golf course, too.
Yes, it is.
Well, Greg, I'm not sure that there are a lot of software businesses quite like yours out there, but why should somebody come to PRIVIT?
Well, in our business, it's somewhat unique. Since we're actually delivering health-related information, it has to, and we're doing this over a cloud-based environment. There's really not a lot of competition out there. It was actually our competition has historically been manual processes and paper, and it still is. And because of our patented technology, people are comfortable with our ability to deliver these technologies in a cloud-based environment. And so although it's relatively new, being out there in a cloud-based computing environment, it is something that there's really 2 things that people always care about. They care about their health, and they care about their privacy. And when you're dealing with medical-related information, you have to have both at all times. And that's what we do have, and that's what we bring our 5 products to the market with. And so that's subsequently why people are accepting us in the marketplace. And actually already we are the #1 provider of one of these products in the electronic pre-participation evaluation marketplace, which we'll talk a little bit more here shortly.
5 products.
5 products.
You want to just hit the highlights and we'll get into detail on them then?
Sure. The first one is the PRIVIT Profile, and that's the electronic version of the pre-participation physical evaluation, and that's the one that we have the largest market share and we've been out in the market with the longest. The second is a product called Family Health Profile, which we launched here in Central Ohio at the beginning of the year. And that's a product that's designed for delivering health-related information to the families. And so, for example, if you're with a family member and you're involved in an emergency, it's very, very important to have that information available to you and not try to go gather that at that point in time. In addition, it's also very important to have information on your loved ones. For example, my mother is 87 years old, God bless her, still alive and kicking well, but she's got a medicine list like there's no tomorrow. And for me to be able to remember those, let alone pronounce them with the 7 or 8 syllables that go with them, it's impossible, but I got a cheat sheet because it's in my Family Health Profile and it's available on my phone. Okay, so I have that available. We also have Employee Health Profile, which is really designed for companies that are in injury-prone industries. When you think about commercial fishing, you think about the oil and gas industry, you think about construction, mining, these are all industries that are primarily not behind a desk. And so subsequently, they're out there in these high-risk environments and people still get injured. And so if you're going to get injured and you need access to medical information that's accurate and protected, that's where our solution comes in for the Employee Health Profile, and it's very well received there as well. The final area is in the Student Health Profile. And that's one that we're actually working on very aggressively. Actually, in Canada, there's an organization called OFIA, which is responsible for setting the health and safety standards for all of Ontario. And there's 2.2 million kids that are up there. They've been distributing paper versions of what they have in terms of releases, authorizations, for people that are involved in just normal curricular phys ed programs, people that are involved in intramurals, and people that are involved in inter-school athletic programs. And when they do this by paper, subsequently you're out there making sure that everything it gets distributed. It's available to a coach, it's available to a trainer, it's available to medical personnel, okay, that are involved there, and it has to be available when you need it the most. And so subsequently, it generally doesn't happen when it's on paper. You know, they leave it behind in the locker room or what have you, and so subsequently, they want to have that information available when they need it the most, which you never know when that is. Nearly everybody's been doing this on paper, okay, in a manual process in all these industries that I talked about, but they never had available on tablets, phones, and on the computers. It's easy to update from these environments. It's easy to retrieve from these environments, and that's really what we do. And the fact that we're based on that patented technology, people are so comfortable saying, okay, I'm willing to carry this on my phone, which incidentally, no information is actually ever reside on the device itself. It's all over the internet and provide that capability just like with your bank applications. Okay, so it's highly secured.
You're listening to Local Business Spotlight. I'm Anne Rey. My guest is Greg Miller, the Chief Operating Officer for PRIVIT. You can reach them at 855-9PRIVIT, which is 855-977-4848. 977-4848. The website is privit.com, P-R-I-V-I-T, privit.com. Well, Greg, let's put a face on some of this. Can you give me a story of someone you've been able to help? That'll help us understand what you do.
Sure. Let's talk about the area where we're number one in the industry, and that's the electronic pre-participation evaluation. We call that our PRIVIT profile product. Stanford University. Everybody's heard of Stanford University. They've been utilizing this product since 2010. And actually, one of the individuals there is responsible for the whole process of the PPE, Dr. Gordon Matheson. He was one of the individuals that brought this in, as well as Dr. Bill Roberts out of the University of Minnesota, and also Dr. Willem A. Wissa out of the University of Calgary. The University of Stanford started utilizing this in 2010, and they've been able to compile information from the use of this over the last 5 years. As a matter of fact, an article was just published in the American Journal of Sports Medicine. It was either in March or April of this year, but it was very, very current. And where they took the results of these little benchline pieces of information we have of these various incoming freshmen and compared those over the last 5 years. The problems that they had when they were utilizing a manual process, as most universities do for this pre-participation evaluation, is that manual process is not consistent. Okay, it's just who's giving it, who's filling it out. There's just no standardization involved in that at all. The questionnaires that they ask about your medical, and this is you're going in, have you had any injuries, what are your immunization schedules, they're historically completed at the very last minute. And that's not what these people want. They're like, okay, well, I'm going to go start playing, so I'm going to mark no to all these things and sign it and give it to you. The idea behind the pre-participation evaluation is identifying any prior injuries that this particular student athlete may have had before they're participating in the sport, so that the trainers and coaches are notified, okay, of where these problem areas are, so they don't put the person in an area that actually could risk their involvement. And in the case of in Stanford, where you're dealing with these varsity athletes, you know, that are on full ride, that's a very, very expensive mistake. And so fundamentally, they've been utilizing this for the 10 years. The other piece, of course, is that the answers were never easily accessible, as we talked about before. And so those are the four areas, okay, that they were having problems with, and so they were one of the first to actually utilize a system. Subsequently, every one of these things, okay, has gone away. It's now very consistent and very standardized, and they're ultimately able to benchmark this information against all the 5 years, okay, and so they can take a look at our practices actually reducing the amount of time a particular athlete is out for an injury, which surprisingly, a specific benchmark was 31 days. A student is actually, if they get injured, they're out of the sport for 31 days. And when you think about somebody getting a full ride for that, that's a big time that they're not able to contribute and carry that forward. Also, by being able to have this in terms of the device and available to these people remotely, they're taking the time to fill it out ahead of time. So they come in, and a lot of times they look at it and When's the last time you know your immunization? I know when I filled it out for Family Health Profile, I had no clue.
Right.
And so I had to actually go to my doctor to find out what that is, and then I put it into the Family Health Profile, and now I know and carry that forward. So there's just a lot of reasons that people do this, and have utilized it since 2010. They're a very happy customer, and they continue to use it, going forward. Along the lines of that, when you go down to the high school level, the Ohio High School Athletics Association is somebody that's also standardized on our product, and that's available to 320,000 students here in the state of Ohio. And since we're actually number one in the space, and it's primarily because a lot of these schools have talk amongst each other. And so Ohio and Minnesota both had made this, we are the standard. We are the only alternative to paper that they actually are out there, and they provide that through their website and through their actual channel of distribution throughout the entire school districts. And we're also in various stages of deployment in over 20 other states, with this product.
Well, Greg, we only have about a minute left. What else do you want us to know about PRIVIT?
I think one of the things that we'd really like people to understand here is that our solutions are all based on this patented technology. So they can always be assured that that they're going to maintain privacy, they're going to maintain security in every aspect of this. Our team has worked together before in a prior organization, so they're very, very experienced. But the biggest issue that we're all about, it's all about customer service and satisfying the customer. We won numerous awards in our prior company, for client satisfaction. As a matter of fact, every employee in the organization is actually bonus based on client satisfaction. So we try to bring that all together and deliver this to the various people that are looking for our products and services.
Well, let me tell everybody how to reach you. PRIVIT, you can be reached by calling 855-977-4848, 855-977-4848. The website is PRIVIT, PRIVIT.com, PRIVIT.com. And my guest is Greg Miller, Chief Operating Officer for PRIVIT. And Greg, thanks so much for spending some time with us today on Local Business Spotlight.
Thank you, Anne.
Thanks for joining us for Local Business Spotlight. The opinions expressed are those of the participants and may not reflect the views of the staff, advertisers, or owners of this station, Salem Media of Ohio, or Salem Media Group. Please join us again for Local Business Spotlight.